The summer of 2025 is witnessing one of the most notable transfer battles in European football. Benjamin Šeško is facing a career-defining decision between Newcastle United and Manchester United. Both clubs see him as the answer to their number 9 position. However, each option offers a very different path. One promises immediate starts and Champions League football. The other brings global brand power and the potential to become a superstar. So, which is the ideal destination for Šeško at this pivotal stage of his career? Benjamin Šeško is currently one of the most prominent young strikers in Europe. He began his career at Domžale, his hometown club, before joining Red Bull Salzburg's youth academy. After a loan stint at FC Liefering, Šeško made his first-team debut for Salzburg in 2020 at just 17 years old, quickly impressing with his goal-scoring instincts, ideal physique, and intelligent movement. In the summer of 2023, he moved to RB Leipzig with the expectation of becoming the club's striker of the future. Over 2 seasons, Šeško scored 39 goals in 87 matches, including 21 goals and 6 assists in the 2024-2025 campaign alone. In terms of playing style, Šeško is a modern center forward, fast, aggressive in pressing, and strong in aerial duels. He's especially effective on the counterattack thanks to his intelligent runs and quick finishing. However, he still needs to improve his composure under pressure and his close control in tight areas if he wants to become a world-class striker. Newcastle United is preparing for a major change in attack as their star forward Alexander Isak is almost certain to join Liverpool in a deal that could reach £150 million. Additionally, Callum Wilson has also left. In this context, Benjamin Šeško emerges as the direct and most promising replacement for the number 9 role. If the deal happens, he would likely become the first-choice striker immediately, without facing intense competition. Under manager Eddie Howe, Newcastle often lines up in a 4-3-3 formation, occasionally switching to a 4-2-3-1. In this system, the center-forward role is highly prioritized. With fast wingers like Harvey Barnes and Anthony Gordon supporting him, Šeško would be a perfect fit as the spearhead. He can exploit space behind defenses on the break and be the target for crosses from the wings. If Isak is sold to Liverpool for £150 million, Newcastle will have a massive budget to reinvest. With RB Leipzig valuing Šeško at around £70 million, this is well within reach, especially with the club backed financially by Saudi owners. They might not stop at Šeško, but further bolster the squad with additional signings to increase depth. Unlike Manchester United, Newcastle has secured a spot in the 2025-2026 Champions League, which is a huge advantage in attracting young talent like Šeško. Playing in the Champions League exposes a player to top-level opponents, boosts their market value, and opens doors to Europe's elite clubs. However, this opportunity comes with real risks. First, the pressure of replacing Alexander Isak will be immense. As a young player, Šeško might struggle to shoulder the attacking responsibility with little time to adapt. Secondly, Newcastle still lacks tactical stability. They failed in the pursuit of Hugo Ekitike, and their form last season was inconsistent at times. The current squad also lacks depth, especially with the club competing in multiple competitions like the Premier League and Champions League. Without sufficient squad reinforcement, Šeško could be burned out or isolated in an underdeveloped attacking system. As for Manchester United, they've had a busy summer, signing 2 major players, Matheus Cunha from Wolves and Brian Mbeumo from Brentford. However, neither is a traditional number 9. Cunha usually plays as a second striker or attacking midfielder, while Mbeumo prefers the right wing. This means United still lacks a true center forward, a role Benjamin Šeško could fill. With Rashford sent on loan to Barcelona and Højlund still underperforming, Šeško would have a real chance to compete for a starting spot. If he impresses in training and the early part of the season, he could earn the trust of new manager Ruben Amorim and the fans, especially since United's front line needs a striker who can press, counterattack, and stretch defenses. Under Amorim, Manchester United is shifting toward a more modern style: ball possession, dynamic passing, and aggressive pressing, a system perfectly suited for a forward like Šeško. Furthermore, Amorim is well known for giving young players chances and developing them into key figures, as he did at Sporting Lisbon. In fact, United has had Šeško on their radar since he was 16, during his time at Red Bull Salzburg. Their renewed pursuit in the summer of 2025 is not a knee-jerk reaction, but part of a long-term strategy. If he joins, Šeško could become a key piece in United's rebuild. There's no denying that Manchester United remains one of the most powerful football brands in the world. Playing at Old Trafford would be an honor and a major personal development opportunity. As a young player, he could even become the face of the club in the future, if successful. He would also benefit from playing alongside experienced stars like Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. The Premier League is the ideal environment for a striker to refine skills like physical duels and finishing under pressure. With United's global media presence, Šeško could elevate his profile to become an international star if he fulfills his potential. However, the biggest obstacle for Manchester United right now is finances. After spending €133.5 million on 2 new signings, their transfer budget is very limited. RB Leipzig's asking price of around £70 million for Šeško is currently out of reach unless United sells some players. Marcus Rashford left on loan, meaning no income was generated. Unless players like Jadon Sancho, Antony, or Terrell Malaysia are sold, it will be difficult to complete the Šeško deal this summer. Ultimately, Benjamin Šeško's decision between Newcastle and Manchester United depends largely on what he values more at this stage: immediate playing time or the potential to become a global superstar. If he prioritizes steady development and a defined role, Newcastle is clearly the better fit. With Isak leaving, Šeško would likely be the undisputed starting striker in Eddie Howe's 4-3-3 system. The lower pressure environment compared to Old Trafford could also allow him to grow more naturally and sustainably. But if Šeško values fame and long-term goals, Manchester United could be the perfect launchpad to superstardom. While competition is tougher and starting isn't guaranteed, proving himself could secure him the striker role United sorely lacks. Playing at Old Trafford, learning from elite players, and gaining exposure from the global media spotlight would accelerate both his development and marketability. From a neutral standpoint, Newcastle may be the ideal stepping stone for the next 2 to 3 years, but may not sustain top-level success. Meanwhile, United, despite financial constraints, has a clear rebuild plan under manager Ruben Amorim. His modern football philosophy suits a tall, fast, dynamic forward like Šeško. If Šeško is ready to embrace the challenge, Manchester United still offers greater long-term potential. At the end of the day, the most important thing for Benjamin Šeško isn't choosing a club. It's choosing the environment that best shapes his character and playing identity. In today's football world, full of media pressure, tactical shifts, and sky-high expectations, one wrong move can derail an entire career. So beyond big contracts or manager promises, Šeško must ask himself, what kind of player does he want to become? Is he willing to be patient, learn, and grow in a competitive setting? Or does he want more immediate playing time and less friction? In the coming years, European football will undergo a major generational shift in the striker role. This is a golden opportunity for Šeško to establish himself as part of that new wave. Whether he chooses Manchester United or Newcastle, his success will depend less on the club and more on his own adaptability, learning curve, and ability to break through.